Welcome. What I'm going to do is we're doing a video today on ancestors. So welcome. This is a very exciting video for me. I am excited because I've been connecting with my ancestors recently, and I've just been getting a lot of connection with them and a lot of love and a lot of aroha. So I thought it was really important to share what they've been teaching me, as well as sharing what I've been listening to from the angels about ancestors. So welcome to this video. What we're going to start with is a prayer and an invocation to do with our ancestors. So if you can just place your hands on your lap or in front of your heart. And our purpose today is to now connect into the energy of our ancestors, our beautiful light ancestors who surround us all the time with knowledge, wisdom, love, and light. We now call in the purest, highest ancestors to be with all of us present today, to help us to connect with this video, to learn and understand what we can do to empower our bloodlines today. So we now call on the angels and guides to surround each and every person that's watching and watching the replays, and to get most out of this video, to keep our hearts open today and to be blessed with the blessings of the ancestors and the angels. And so it is. So welcome everybody. So what I would thought we'd start with is just surrounding ourselves in white light, because today we want to really connect with our ancestors and our loved ones in spirit. So just to be open to receiving knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on ancestral bloodlines, and just understanding what we can do in the here and now to heal bloodlines, and heal programs and patterns within the bloodline. So just hold this candle. I have my ancestors here today. So if you can hold the candle and be with me now, and just silently call in your loved ones, your ancestors, to be with you, and just ask them to surround you with love and light in this moment so you can feel their love. Just thanking them for everything they've brought to our worlds. Any person that you can is coming into your mind, mum, dad, grandparents, saying thank you, and thank you to just all the ancestors going way back. So just acknowledging them with this candle, and just calling in the white light for yourself to acknowledge them. So you're just setting your prayers and intentions while looking at this white candle, as I am, and it just opens you up to connecting with the highest, purest light. And we call on Archangel Michael to be with us all today, so that we are getting the most out of this video. So well done. Okay, so I'm just gonna, so the first thing I'm going to do is talk about, and the angels want to talk about, is what is your ancestors? What is ancestral bloodlines? What does this all mean? Because if you've been in this for a while, you understand what ancestral bloodlines are. But for people who are not sure about it, ancestral ancestors are anyone that's came before you in your birth line, so your bloodline. So anyone. So for example, for myself, I've got Indian blood. I'm half Indian, half European. So my Indian side, I've got South Indian, and that's what runs through my blood and my DNA. And then I've got on the European side that I have English and Celtic. So I have that in the combination of my DNA, and my ancestors stem way back then. And everything that happened in the past with our ancestors, it actually ripples down to us energetically, but also within our DNA. So you know how sometimes in bloodlines people, it jumps a generation, so some people look like their grandparents. So it's very our ancestors are also passed through our DNA. So characteristics, personality traits, abilities, psychic abilities, or clairvoyant abilities, it's all passed through your DNA. So I am very grateful because of the DNA that I have. It's like a lock and a key, they're saying. It creates an avenue of light that allows me to express my divinity within this body. And because of the DNA from my ancestors, it allows me to do this. So your ancestors do a lot more than you think in regards to the past. So that's where you get to unlock your capabilities with your ancestry, your bloodline, your DNA, but as well as spiritual gifts. So you can bring it in as a soul, but you also need the right lock and key with your DNA for it to be activated properly, which I've learned over time. So thank you to my Celtic side and my Hindu side, I've got a very powerful combination that helps me to open up to my spiritual gifts. So that's great. And it happens in a lot of bloodlines. There's a lot of people who kind of stand out of the crowd in their family to be the more intuitive ones, the ones that seem to be really intact with spirit. And a lot of that is from 50% is DNA, genetics, and the other 50% is your soul or higher self. So it's like a lock and a key thing. Um, I'd like to introduce you to my ancestor. This is my dad's mother. She died when he was young, so I never got to meet her, but she's been very instrumental in connecting with ancestors, and she's a very gentle energy. She doesn't really speak to me that much. She's more nudging, a gentle energy. So she's one of my spirit guides. She bats for me. She sticks up for me. So we all have one of these, well, a couple of them actually, that look after us. You don't necessarily have to have met them, but my story with my grandmother is when my granddad was young, so the husband, or my dad's dad, I used to ask a lot of questions about my grandmother, and they were kept saying, "Why are you asking?" And it's because I was always drawn to her. So I obviously recognize her picture or recognize her being one of my guides. Just put her back here. Stick you up there. So what I'm gonna start off with is reading something I channeled today in regards to ancestors. And leading up to this video, I've had a lot of connections with relatives in my bloodline that need healing. So people that have had people pass over, I'm going to be connecting with their parents, their loved ones, to just assist them in doing some healing and integration around their relationships with their parents or their grandparents or whatever I'm doing. When I'm working with that particular family member, I'm going to be working for the light, working with my angels and working with the angels to help do some healing around the bloodline, because ultimately it all comes back to me because they're part of me. So anyone that you can assist or anyone you can support throughout your lifetime with healing around family, it ripples out to you and your children as well. So you can never go wrong and you can never lose out helping out family, because that means it also impacts on you and the karma comes back to you, the good karma. Because there is the law of karma that we are born in on this planet, the law of duality and all of this involved in our ascension process. The angels are saying that our family members that came before us took on a lot of responsibilities that maybe we don't understand of or we don't get to see, because it could have been our great great grandparents that took on the burden of a particular thing. And each cycle of generation, like the Y generation, the X generation, they all bring in learning. And it's almost like the like evolution, like how man is evolved. It's the same spiritually. So say our parents in the 1950s, 40s, whatever, each generation carries a karma that got to learn. And so where we are today is actually due to the work that they did in the past. So it's always a constant evolution of learning and growing and evolving. So they want us to understand that so that people can appreciate more so, even though when you go back in time, you hear about your great grandparents and all this, and some things that, were not, back in the days, were not considered maybe probably an ideal living situation or circumstances or patterns. From them doing what they do, it's almost like they're saying each person contributed a bit. And the more that we become evolved, the more that we're able to clear off our families. So in this lifetime, I've consciously chosen and also soul level to do a lot of healing around my bloodline, because if my current son, I don't want him to be taking on a lot of the karma. So I'm consciously doing that from the place of my understanding. So this video today is just to really share with you kind of tips and what the angels want to share with you in regards to family, bloodline, and ancestral healing, and how to do it, how to start doing it actually, because it's a very in-depth subject, but they wanted to get people a head start, like understanding. If you're already on this path, great. This will be a refresher. It will also go through some things maybe you haven't known before. And remember that there's no one way doing this. This is just the angelic point of view and maybe the safest way of doing it that does not create any excess karma. It's to do with from a place from love. So, you know, you can go to people and get the healing if that's what you feel guided to. Um, but also, you've got to sometimes ask for people's assistance in doing this, but also trust your team of light and ask them to guide you to the right people, the right situations, the right doctors, if that's what you require, counselors, like to do all this work. Ask Spirit to guide you. So, all right, so I'm going to read this, and then this is what I channeled. So it's a very funny picture, black and white picture. So you probably have these in your family. And you look at the pictures and you think, well, that looks really old school. But, you know, the angels say that humans believe in the linear point of view of time, but actually, when you look at it from an angelic point of view in a perspective of spirit, there is no time and space. So when you are doing the ancestral healing in the now, you are actually healing past loved ones as well, also as future generations. So that's why they say it's really important to look at your ancestors and look at what they've done for us, and also look at what we can possibly do in the now to help our future children, grandchildren, with patterns, programs, kind of anything in our family you've noticed you really don't want that for your kids in the future or even grandkids. What can I do myself to be looking at this pattern, especially if you hold the same pattern? Has a lot of power if you are able to overcome it and heal it and grow and evolve from it. So I'm going to read this, which I channeled today, and then we're going to go into the video. So we are going to do a meditation at the end to connect with our ancestors on a DNA level, RNA level, so that you can just experience the energy of your ancestors. So this is the message. So the message is pure and simple. You hold within the light codes to awaken to the new light codes of the new golden age. Your past ancestors paved the way for you all to be where you are today. Your DNA holds your connection back to the beginning of time, which holds memories of all living memories and all living things. Certain DNA is activated in each individual to allow for particular gifts. You hold within you strength and wisdom of your ancestors, which is underutilized. We come now to remind you to connect with your lineage so you do not need to work so hard to evolve. Learn from the past and grow. You can now activate new light codes for future generations by doing the required healing and integration with your team of light. Your cells respond to light from your soul. You can do the family healing required to free your bloodline. You are not alone in doing this. Your ancestors say that all light and dark is contained within the DNA, and it is a choice to how do you move forward and whether you heal this or not. You have the power to free yourself, your family, and future generations through the process of ancestral healing. It sounds bigger than what it is. You all have a guardian in each family that their sole purpose is to monitor, guide, and direct this healing. So call upon them now to be the strength and show you the way forward when you are ready. Patterns, programs from the bloodline, and the rest of humanity are within this DNA strand as well. So we are here today to congratulate you all on how far humanity has come and how far you will go. We walk your path with you to the end when you all ascend. We are your team of light. Enjoy this video with Sunita on the discussion of ancestors. So that was the message. They're really excited to be here today because they have a voice, and the ancestors work more on the human level, but also we have angels here tonight to answer questions as well. So they wanted me to talk about ancestral healing in general. So when you come into this world, they're saying you come as a clear vessel and you agree prior to birth what parents you choose, whether you believe this or not. This is what the angels say. And whether it resonates with you as true, you know, take it if it is, but if it isn't, just don't take it, you know. Just discern what feels right for you. So what they say is that you are born, you choose your parents, you choose your lessons in your book of life called Shake It Records, which Metatron governs. You also choose to take on certain lessons from the family bloodline, and those are reenacted through patterns and programs and cycles of stuff. So you might choose, or your family might choose, to start healing the karma of, we'll just say, financial hardship. And you come into this world, your parents have got that program already. Your mum or dad carry that program from their family, and it goes back centuries and centuries, to do with poverty and to do with not respecting money. And then they create a karma or a learning lesson. We'll call it learning lessons because karma seems very final. So you get these final learning lessons and they move through your bloodline. They can jump generations. So what happens is you end up with your conscious being, you're awake, you're ready to go, you start learning money habits from your parents, and then it becomes a lot deeper. So I've experienced this as well. Nothing to do, like, yes, environment plays a part, but also there is a learning lessons involved in the bloodline. And what happened was I became aware of this. So a lot of it was learnt behaviors, which you can change, but also there was a deeper part to it, which I discovered through doing Reiki and doing my meditations and listening to my angels and tuning into my team of light. Um, what was the deeper reason for this all going on? What am I meant to be learning? What is this bloodline meant to be learning? What did my parents not learn or learn? Did it pass to me? And through discernment, I chose to do some healing around this. And what I did was I used to be into past life healing when I was younger, in my 20s. I went through and worked with Archangel Metatron. He guided me through meditations, and a lot of it was family orientated. Some of it was my past lives where I've also kind of exploited being rich at one point in a lifetime and maybe overdone it with the finances and not respected money, and then kind of come in with family karma. So chosen to learn that in this lifetime. And so it's an ongoing lesson, I must say. But what I've done is I've done the healing around it so that now in the moment I'm able to own it as just my lesson and my learning. And I've cleared as much as I can in regards to the family karma. So what I've done is broken the pattern by doing things differently. I've met a husband or a partner that's not in alignment with that old pattern either. So I've attracted a partner that is able to teach me about money as well, respecting money, how to utilize it. But also to, in past lives, you also make vows of poverty. So sometimes you have a lifetime as a beggar, you have lifetimes as maybe not respecting the money, and then you say to the universe, when I come back I want to learn this. So there's a lot of things that play when you get real to the nitty gritty, and a lot of the ancestral healing is around those things. And how you do it is you call in your team of light to ask, is this family pattern or program not just connected to like my parents, because you got to do the work with your parents as well in this lifetime. So obviously I had to realize my mum and dad are who they are. They learned from their parents, their circumstances, appreciating that, then looking at, is it something deeper within me that I've brought from another life, and actually taking responsibility for my own learning and my own learning lessons or karma, and also ancestral bloodline. So the more that I'm able to work with money and the relationship with money, abundance, all that, the more that my future generations are able to benefit from that. So the angels are saying that you are able to turn around the karma of the family if you consciously choose to do it. And that's if you want to. It's not some lessons are like you did it prior to birth, but some lessons you can consciously choose, like, do I want to take upon this to learn? And a lot of the lesson that people go through with their family in regards to patterns of money, even trauma around abuse, um, you can experience that on different levels, and even your parents. So you'll notice in families there are cycles of things. So abuse could be a cycle, so it can go back many generations, and it just keeps happening and happening and happening until one person in the bloodline decides, this is not me. I don't want to be a product of this. I want to consciously choose to do some healing around it, or do some integration, or find out why in this lifetime with my parents, why is it happening? Do I have to be a byproduct of that? No, you don't. You have a conscious choice. You have, um, and this is a hard subject because it's very individual and very subjective to people. And the angels are saying that people going through the experiences right now, they're not going to think, great, like once I overcome it, it's all going to be better. They're not dumbing down the cause and effect of things on you, and they're not saying that it's a good thing people go through this lesson. But in order for people to break the cycle, they've got to go through it and reach a point where they no longer want that in their life or want it for future generations. And I'm talking globally, humanitarian, to do with abuse on a global level. Like when people start saying enough's enough and people start speaking their truth and not allowing it to happen anymore, we are the ones that are meant to be stopping it. And it's getting better. The angels are saying with patterns of addiction, patterns of alcohol, like that's all in the family bloodlines. It all started way back beginning of time in our DNA. We created these lessons, so we're the ones who can undo it. And they're saying to call on the angels to help with this, like to light the way, to show you how to do it, because there's no way humans, they got themselves into the mess. They need help to get out of the mess. And the angels are saying they're quite happy to work with you on a one-on-one basis. Excellent Archangel Metatron works with your Shake It Records, works with Ascension, Archangel Michael. Like, obviously, first step is to keep yourself safe, common sense, in a situation or any situation. And then once you're safe and you're in a good space, then identify what kind of help do you need? Do you need mental help, emotional help, spiritual help, physical help? Um, Look at everything in that spectrum. Um, I had a pattern recently with anxiety. So I had postnatal depression, then I got anxiety triggered. Prior to having a baby, that was never an issue. I loved changed, I embraced it. But something in my DNA got triggered by the postnatal. And so now I'm healing that family bloodline thing because anxiety comes from DNA, genetics. And I'm working with my ancestors to do a lot of work around it so that my future generations don't need to go through that. And I personally chose this lesson before I came here as well. I chose to go through this and learn. Um, Consciously or not, we all choose our lessons on some level or another. But owning it and choosing a pattern and saying you chose it gives it you power over the pattern and program rather than it having power over you. Because people blame, say they blame certain things or certain addictions on their parents or that person and that person. And yes, it did come from them or bloodlines, but you have the power to change it now, whatever it may be. And I met a beautiful earth angel today that kind of proved that to me. A young, beautiful girl and been through a lot. And she has seen a lot of things in her young years. And she now has a young child of her own. And she chose to rise above it and not be a part of that cycle. And I've done the same thing in my family, and I've met many others, and I've seen it in the youth of today that there are those ones that are brought into families where there are addictions and everything, and they either become part of that or they have the resilience and they choose to stand up and say no. And a lot of it is dependent on the soul growth, the child, what's going on. But I've seen it in the youth. And what is powerful is the generation now has got so much power to make change. Leading up to the 1980s, a lot of self development was not recognized. People did it. There were a few that were probably more. There are more spiritually awake today than there ever was compared to 50 years ago when my parents were there. So that generation, my mum's generation, the stigma around self development wasn't there. Going to counseling and all this kind of thing. You did it if you were kind of aware, but that generation only, they did the best they could. And then following those generations, we were able to wake up more and more and more. So the younger kids are coming in quite clear, quite concise, quite alert, kind of ready to not put up with crap anymore, literally. They're not willing to put up with a lot of things and they're making a lot of changes, which is really exciting. So we do pave the way for the future generations, and it's really important we take responsibility for our growth, not just on an individual level, but on a family level, because really it all ripples out, and it we all kind of come back to family, community, unit, collective. You do your work first, and because the only person you can really work on is you. You can't work on your mum and dad. They've had their experiences, your grandparents. The only person you can make decisions for is you. So you can choose your path. You can choose to grow from it. You can choose to make some changes. You don't have to be a statistic. You don't need to be a part of that pattern. And I've seen patterns play out in families over and over and over again. And I'm not saying it's easy. It definitely isn't taking it upon thinking I'm going to make decide to do my own learning. But remember that when you are doing your individual growth and learning, you really are helping not just yourself, but others. And this beautiful earth angel I met, she's made such a ripple in her future generations by breaking the cycle. Um, as traumatic as it all sounded, she made a conscious choice. And it's because this generation coming in are very powerful, and that's very exciting. So the angels wanted to talk about that. So they're saying how to do it is very individualized, very subjective. They want to say to start with you. So start with looking at what in your life do you feel is a family pattern. So look at your relationships with people, your communication, how you interact with people, your thought patterns. Like, do you have a abundance mentality, or do you have a lack mentality? Do you have things in your life like, are you overeating? Is that due to something that's happened in this lifetime? And if there is, you need to sort that out and get the help required, and then look at the bigger picture. Because if you put it into the perspective of your family and seeing the bigger picture, so is there overeating in your family? It doesn't make your situation any better, but it explains a lot when it comes to not just your individual learning, but the family, and knowing that your DNA holds some lessons that you can learn, and a lot of it is your choice. That's what the angels are saying. We have free will. We can either not choose to break the cycles, or we can choose to break the cycles. It's a choice. With all these new children coming in, our ancestors are really excited because they're saying finally they get to break free from the past. Because they are living beings. So every time we learn something, our ancestors have a party for us. They celebrate our journey. Every time we ascend and move forward, they're with us working our path. And they are the big of each bloodline, and they're the ones you're meant to connect with if you would like to do ancestral healing. And each guardian, what you would specify is if you meditate and work with the light, you'd call in your guardian ancestor, and they're the ones that hold all the lessons. They've got like a book that shows all the lessons that bloodline. So maybe my family might have needed to learn karma about loving more, having more confidence, less anxiety, and then they hold that book and they support you with that and bring in the support that you need. Because even reading that channeling, it's saying that everything contained in your DNA is from the past. And you are here now on this planet at this time to make the changes, to break the patterns, to break the cords, to make the revolution. That's why each generation does their part. But this generation and everyone watching knows that the awareness is there, the consciousness is there, and we're rapidly accelerating. And the more that we're able to do the work on ourselves, or do the healing, the integration, the understanding, and the learning with the angels, the violet flame, working with our own individual needs. So, for example, I needed to go to counseling to sort out the mind, to do with not just my own patterns, but ancestral patterns. Then I did the spiritual work to help with that. So it's an all encompassing, holistic view. And just starting simple by writing down maybe a habit that you feel is something for yourself to break. So it might be the habit of smoking, and then you might look at how you're going to do that physically. But then if you want to look at the spiritual aspects, you can call in your team of angels. Is there any family karma around this? Is there any lessons about this? Is there anything to do with me going back in my past lives and doing healing around something, something, something caused where I had to bring forth this addiction. And then if I clear it, does that mean that it stops it from happening? So they're saying that the more you're able to do the work, the less chances your future grandchildren, children, future generations of Earth have to keep encountering this. So not that it all weighs on us, but they're saying because we're more conscious, we're able to do more than what our great great grandparents could do, and that would make a lot of sense to a lot of people. Because as you know, when you talk to great great grandparents, they hold there's only their consciousness is at a certain level. There are a few people that were more awake than others, but more than ever in this time, in this moment, so many people are awake, and the angels are saying, and the ancestors saying, it is time for you to reconnect with your roots, reconnect with the strength of your ancestors, the power of your ancestors, because they bring so much good into your life as well. They help you not just with patterns and programs, but they help you with lessons moving forward as an individual, ascension, bringing in the right people, the right resources. Like these are your loved ones. They want what's best for you. So that's what the messages are. What time are we at? 30 minutes. Right. Just thought I'd show you this beautiful card here. So that's just, it's got ancestors, appreciating and healing. So this card's got like a lady in the front pregnant, then going all the way back to the beginning of time where there was just pure light. And that's how far back they're saying our DNA goes, right back to the beginning of time. So it doesn't just hold the karma of your family, but it holds all karma, like all learning lessons for all of humanity. That's why all of us have common patterns we've got to heal. And if we can heal it on a cellular level or DNA level, individually in a family and also with family, it ripples out to the rest of humanity because we're all connected. So it's huge. This is huge. And people are aware of this. Right, so I'm going to pick some cards to see what the angels are saying, any more messages about ancestors. I mean, this is just an introduction video to it. There's a lot you can look at, but what they essentially want you to be aware of is you have the power to make the changes. You hold it within your DNA, your RNA. You are empowered. This is the right time to be looking at stuff like that. So, messages, heart. So this is about the heart. So lessons about worthiness, self-esteem. Yes, they come from the environment, but they also come from family bloodlines. So I also looked at anxiety in my family, self-esteem. There are patterns that you can see and you learn it as a kid from your parent, but it doesn't define you. You can grow from that, learn from them, and think, I don't want to be like A, B, C, D. I want to grow from this experience. And then some things take a lifetime and some things take 20 years. There's no competition, there's no race. We have other lifetimes. But the ones that are right in your face, obvious, people know when there are certain things they've got to let go of or learn. And what they're saying is there's a huge look at right now is looking into your heart and seeing emotionally, what is it that you need to let go of? Is it the self-sabotage? Self-sabotage comes from self, but it also can come from bloodlines. People in your family that had the abilities but never rose up to it due to this family thing of not believing in yourself enough. The way they viewed the world. It's very generational, and they're saying that the heart is your portal. Like, if you're coming from a place of love, you can never cause any harm, and you can never do any, like, if you're looking at patterns around the heart, every time you step up, you're giving your future generations, your DNA for everybody, a head start. And so they're saying, don't knock the small things, like they count. Even just learning how to love yourself unconditionally, that's huge. But it's such an important thing right now, like teaching our younger generation how to love themselves without condition. That's huge. And I'm also learning that as well, that I'm working on myself so that I'm able to love myself unconditionally in the here and now, so that my son learns that as well. Like, so I'm the example. So they're saying lead from love, lead from a place of love. And they're not saying that we're all broken and we need to be fixed. What they're saying is that we came to this world to experience life in all its glory. the shadow and the light, and it helps us to become a more harmonized being. And we chose to come into families, and they're saying it's a lot of fun because you get to meet new people, you get to experience life, and you get to have different lessons. And we're here to learn from the heart. So all the lessons are always based from love. Um, and they are teaching you to come back to love from fear. And they're saying that the way the ancestors connect with you is through your heart as well. So if you're looking at connecting with your ancestors, your tree, go within the heart. That's your key there. So that's an important thing to know. What else do we need to know? Surrender. So this is talking to me about control and letting go, and knowing when it's okay to let go, and knowing that it's not your whole burden. Like, so there are some people that think they've got to take on the world and take on everybody's healing, but actually what they're saying is let go of everybody else and start looking at you and looking at your family. They're the most important things, because people get too caught up in looking at somebody and saying, I'm judging, that person really needs to learn about this, and this person needs to really learn about that. And actually, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and start looking at what you need to start look at. Don't look at your parents. Don't look at your auntie and uncle. Don't look at your kid even. Look at yourself. That's the message from your ancestors. And they're also saying that it is okay to call on help from them, because they hold all the lessons. They've been through it all. They've had the hard yards. They've done all the hard work. So you don't need to go and do all that anymore. So they're saying surrender to them and work with them. Work with them to establish a easier life for yourself, because in this card there's a seahorse, and it's got the blue, and it's about being surrounded by your loved ones. You're never on this journey alone. And I think a lot of mediums will say to you that your loved ones are always with you. And I have a beautiful friend, Melissa, who connects through mediumship. And time again, it's always about love. So the ancestors are saying, call them in, because they are underutilized. People, they're more talking about not just grandparents and mum and dad, but ancestors, like getting into the roots. Like, we all have roots. I have Indian ancestors that have so many special abilities and have done beautiful things in their life, art, music. You can tap into that. Also, people have got African descent, beautiful ancestors, Aboriginal, English, Irish, like any kind of, you can tap into their energy. That is powerful. They're saying it's almost like going like a roots of the tree. Your ancestors are the roots. They keep you up. They keep you stable in each lifetime. They're the foundation of you. You carry within yourselves all the lessons, the positive lessons, also the good karma, the blessings. Like, that comes from your ancestors. Also the work that you do as well. But your ancestors bless you. So they're saying, like, wake up, call them in, work with your ancestors, listen. One more card from here. Self-focus. So this is about going within. So this card is a mandala about looking inwards. So the takeaway messages: work with your ancestors. Start looking at things that you really want to break. Like, if there's something, like, say, we'll talk about eating. If you're overeating, emotional eating, look at your life and see if there are triggers. You've got to also do the work, whether it's counseling, whatever it is that you feel to resonate towards, receiving Reiki, going to a spiritual practitioner, looking at your food, like looking at the psychology of it all. But call in your ancestors to help you along the way, to bless your path, because they walk with you. And the more that you work with them and talk to them and communicate, the more you can utilize them. That's the message. Go within. They're right there with you. They're right in your heart. You don't even have to, like angels, you've got, angels hear you, but your ancestors have come before you, and they hold the wisdom that you need right now. That's the message. You hold all the wisdom you need within yourselves. All you need to do is tap into it. Right. Let's get 3 messages from this around ancestry, ancestral healing and integration. It's the Metatron chakras. So we have wheels of light within our chakra systems. We hold lessons within our chakras. That is also the other thing. So when you're looking at a particular chakra, so you can call in your team of light to see if a particular chakra is blocked. It's generally associated with something in this lifetime, but it also can go back to your family. So say you have to learn karma or learning lessons about money and abundance, that lesson will be stored in your base chakra, your root chakra, and you can call in your ancestors to help you with that. They created the karma. They're here to help you to heal the karma. You're not meant to be doing it alone anyway, they're saying. They're family. They're there with you for life. Also, too, light body. The more that we ascend, the lighter our bodies become. The more lessons will come up for us to clear. Each generation will get kept getting handed the baton of light. You know, in the Olympics. Um, so, what your ancestors are saying is, look at your chakras. If there's a particular chakra that's highlighted, the heart, the base, to do with security, your sacral chakra can be to do with sexual identity. Like sometimes what you're going through is a family learning lesson and it's stored within your chakra. Oh, this one's come up. We were just talking about this. Safety, strength, and power. This is to do with your root chakra. All of us in humanity have a karma or a learning lesson around feeling safe. It is a basic necessity, a learning that we do as a child. If this is disrupted by trauma, we have to learn that and grow and evolve when we're adults. And it's about feeling safe and taking our power back and feeling whole and complete. So right now we're going through a big ascension process, and what's being triggered is all our lower chakras, our root chakra, feeling safe, our sacral chakra, our freedom, our solar plexus, our power. So all these chakras are being triggered to heal, and it goes back to ancestral because all of us are connected back to the beginning. Whether you believe in Adam and Eve or whatever you believe in, we all go back to one place, and it started there, the point of origin, and all of us are connected, and all of us are doing this together. And what this is saying is this year, it's all about, or even from now onwards, we're really going to be getting to the root cause of a lot of things, and a lot of it is in our DNA, and that's where we need the healing and integration. So when you identify, say, a program in your life or a pattern or a thought belief, a subconscious thought, a habit, an addiction, and you start to do healing and integration around it, you are actually signaling healing within your ancestral bloodline, but you're also healing the rest of humanity. So it always ripples out, and we have the power and strength to do this. And it's highlighting, particularly this year and the last couple of years, and coming up will be our root chakra, our sacral, and our solar plexus. We're really working with that because a lot of the DNA that we hold from civilizations holds fear, to do with power and control, to do with feeling safe. That all goes back way, way when. We also can hold galactic healing. So I'm from the Pleiades. I carry light codes from positive and negative that's gone into my DNA, and it helps me to access the Pleiades, if that makes sense. Key in a lock. And what they're saying is I also bring certain lessons I've got to learn for the Palladians as well. So it's a very multi-galactic, so you don't just carry like DNA from humanity, you carry DNA from other places as well. And we'll go into that another time. That's a whole different level. But what they're saying is right now, so if you can just look at your life and see if there's anything to do with feeling safe, power and control, and strength, ego, like all those things. Just there's only, you can find one thing and work on that or look at that consciously, it almost gives a signal to the angels that you're ready to let this go, you're ready to work on this, you're ready to empower yourself from this. And we all have something that we kind of bugs us, and we're really wanting to make changes, and we don't know why we can't make the changes. We've tried. In regards to me, weight loss, it's to do with lifetimes, this lifetime, but it's also got to do with some programs and things I had to heal and let go of in past lives. So a lot of deep healing on a cellular level. So one more card. Fire, dragon strength. So this card's saying to us all that We have the strength of everybody, and it's almost like we're in this paradigm of our ancestors at the base of us, angels at the top, and we're in the center. And we have the strength to do this. We have the support, we have the networking. We also are transmuting. So we're talking about the violet flame, fire in general. There's a lot of breaking down of old structures, even in the world, the karma of the world, the lessons of the world, and that it all goes back to past ancestors, like World War One, World War Two, all those lessons that needed they go through bloodlines, they get healed, and we are in one of the best points in humanity in regards to healing. We are doing so well. We just got to keep going and become conscious and awakened, and just lead by example. You don't need to awaken somebody up. You need to just be the light for yourself and your family. And what happens is your family naturally start to feel the ripple effects of the light, and then they start to wake up themselves in their own time, in their own way. It is a soul's choice and a soul's journey. Sorry, I feel one more card. No, actually, I saw a card and it triggered. It reminded me of something. It's actually, I'll show you because it actually made sense to me. I should show you. It's called, these cards are amazing, by the way. I will find it here. We're literally doing this. We're untying the knots of karma. We're untying the knots. That's literally what you're doing on a DNA level, on a light code level. So the more that you're able to lift the heaviness from the DNA, the more we're able to, so you let go of the heaviness, more light can come in. You let go of heaviness, the more light that can come in. That's literally what happens to your cells. So the more density you can release, the lighter you become, the more light can enter your body. You're able to hold more light. That is why there is a huge push for you to work with your ancestors and start going digging deep. Digging deep. Right. We're going to do a meditation now to connect with your ancestors, and then we're going to do a pick a card at the end. So what do your ancestors want you to all know? So if you can just get comfortable, take 3 deep breaths, just be in the silence. So our purpose today is to connect with our mighty ancestors, our guardian ancestor, so that we are able to start doing the healing and the integration required to please individually guide us for our highest light, highest good through the power of love and light. So now please guide us through a meditation to help us connect with our guardian ancestor. And so it is. So what the angels are asking is take 3 deep breaths, breathe in the white light. We're now going to ask for the angels and mighty Archangel Michael to surround us in this pure diamond white light. And just see it forming a beautiful egg of white light that holds all the rays in it, violet, pink, purple, white light, the diamond white light, the cosmic white light that surrounds us in a bubble of light. And call in beloved Archangel Michael. And we now call on the violet flame because it's really powerful to transmute anything that is not of the light, to surround ourselves in a beautiful violet flame through the great central sun and our divine souls. So our purpose today, now, is to call in our angels, team of light and ancestors to be with us. So consciously do this now. Invite them into your heart. We now surround ourselves with the pink ray of unconditional divine cosmic love. So what they would like you to do is visualize your heart. See it as a flower. See yourself connecting with this flower, and then go within. And inside your heart, there's a beautiful portal of light, and it takes you through a doorway. And in this doorway, it says in front of this doorway, ancestors, ancestral tree. And what you'll be doing is connecting with your ancestral tree, your ancestral bloodline, your ancestors, your loved ones, your relatives that have passed on before you. So what they do is they open the door for you, and you walk into this tube of light, and you get pulled up into the heavens, into the clouds, and you get taken higher and higher, and you feel these wings around you. You feel really safe. You feel really loved. And your guardian angel is with you, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, all the team of light that have been with you since birth. And so what happens is they take you up to a plain, and on this plain there is beautiful emerald green grass. And as you place your feet on the grass, you feel so connected to the earth, so connected to Mother Gaia, so connected to the great cosmic mother, and you just feel this overwhelming feeling of love and connection to oneness. And you walk with bare feet. You can see yourself as a child or as an adult, and you're walking on this grass, and you feel your feet beneath you, and you just feel so excited to be connecting with your ancestors, your relatives. And as you walk on this grass, you're starting to notice trees around you, and you're noticing plants and flowers and just animals. You're really in the now, you're really present, really focused, just happy and joyous. And as you walk, it becomes clearer and clearer to you. The trees become clearer to you. There's heaps of trees, beautiful oak trees, beautiful, just every tree, kauri trees, like any tree you can imagine it is there. In this plain, there are so many trees, and all these trees represent families, bloodlines. They represent all the knowledge and wisdom. It is almost like a garden of trees, and these trees all hold the light codes, the DNA of all the blessings. And what you're just so in awe of all of this, and the sun is shining above you, you're hearing birds chirping. It's such a peaceful place. And there in front of you, you see a tree, and it particularly grabs your attention, and your heart pulls you to a particular tree. And there in this tree, you see faces and you see images, and they're beautiful. The tree is white, and it has green and brown and many, many colors. And your ancestors invite you to go to them. And you just go up to this tree, you hug the tree, and you become absorbed by this tree. And as you're one with the tree, you start to feel love of thousands and thousands of ancestors surrounding you in an embrace of unconditional love. And your heart just expands, and you feel this unconditional love rippling out to all your cells, and just remembering you are one with all. And you absorb the joy, you absorb the blessings, you absorb the strength, whatever it is that you require from your ancestors now. And you call upon now your guardian ancestor to be with you. And your guardian ancestor steps forth, and you ask them to be with you if this is what you so choose, to start walking your path with you, to connect with you consciously, so you can start looking at your own internal healing, your own internal integration, your ascension process with Metatron. Your ancestor, your guardian ancestor is with you now. So like feel your guardian ancestor connecting with you on a cellular level. Remember them. Feel the energy. Is it a male or female? Is it a grandparent? Who is this guardian to you? If you've never met them, feel into the energy of this beautiful guardian and invite he or her in to be with you. And they will walk your path from now onwards and consciously walk beside you to assist you in your evolution and your ascension path. You feel so connected and so alive. You feel your cells that are alive with all this connection, and you just feel so blessed. So they now invite you to come away from the tree and still have your guardian next to you. And he or she walks with you to the doorway and says, I'll always be with you now. You have called upon me, I'm here. And I'm here to walk your path with you, and I will never leave your side. And just feel this appreciation from both of you, from the heart. And your guardian ancestor walks with you to the doorway of light and comes with you all the way back to the space of where your body is. And as you return to your body, your ancestor stands next to you, and they are saying to you, listen, dear one, I am with you now. You no longer need to struggle around life. I am here with you to assist you in all the learning you ever need. You are never alone. You are loved by your ancestors, and you are cherished. And so it is. So your ancestor is now with you by your side. Spend a couple of minutes. Your ancestor's going to stand on one of the sides of you, left or right side. Will connect with your heart and just allow your ancestor to be with you. So I will ring a bell in a couple of minutes. So just spend some time with your ancestor. Just feel that peace with your ancestor. Feel that connection. Feel that phone line. Feel that love. So take 3 deep breaths. Just feel your heart open. Open your eyes. Welcome back. Ground your energy. Open your wings. Feel the freedom. Just feel that love. I just feel so much love right now. Feel so much love. Feel like crying. I don't know if you feel like that, but I feel very connected. So we're going to end with some messages from your ancestors, and I bought a beautiful ancestor deck and I've got some messages. So what the angels are saying is connect with your guardian ancestor and ask 4 piles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what do your ancestors want you to know right now? So just connect with that. Pick a number. So I'm going to pick a card. These are beautiful cards. Crystal Medicine by Rochelle Sharman. So what do your ancestors, so if you picked card number 1, so these messages may be from all your ancestors or you can pick a particular number. But so if you picked card number 1, the message for you is angels and spirit guides, upper world. You're being activated. Your ancestors saying it is time for you to step up. It's time for you to embrace all of your spiritual gifts. It's time for you to awaken to your true potential. It is time to work with your angels and spirit guides if you're not already doing so, but stepping up the game. They're almost talking about it being a video game. It's about leveling up. It's about stepping up. And the message is you are not alone. You are going into the upper world. You've worked on your lower chakras. It is time to embrace the upper chakras and look at inner child stuff, trusting yourself, third eye, crown your connection with source. So it's all about connection. So that is the message from your ancestors. We are helping you to awaken to the angels and spirit guides, and helping you to utilize your gifts for the greater of humanity. So that's message number 1. And the card that goes with that, or the message from your ancestors for pile number 1. Wish. When we stand at the edge of wishing well, we throw coins into the well with the hope that something will change in our life. Instead of wishing, have the courage to dive into the wishing well, delve into your depths, and you will find the richness of your soul. As you are immersed in your splendor, all is transformed. That is the message from your ancestors. Pile number 1. So pile number 2, if that is what you chose. Throwing cards around. Right, message number 2. So this says Moon, Divine Feminine. So this is Kuan Yin actually. So what your ancestors are asking you to do is to start having more compassion towards yourself and your situation in your life. Start seeing yourself as that compassionate being that you are. Start giving yourself compassion. You are very good at giving it to others, but they're saying it is time for you to have compassion for yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing everything you can. You're doing the best that you can. And what this is saying is trust your intuition. So your intuition is going to guide you. Your ancestors are working through your intuition. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention, journal them, pay attention to your thoughts, what your heart says, what your gut says. You're getting a lot of messages from your ancestors through gut feelings. It's also saying that your emotions may be sometimes a bit volatile, just to bring in your ancestors to help you to breathe and remember to just stay calm and carry on. That's the message. Even through the storms of life, we have the ability to choose to stay as calm as possible by remembering to breathe. That is what your ancestors are saying. They're also saying you hold the power and the key to your empowerment. They are there ready to work with you. You just need to make a decision to step up and to empower yourself and to look at what you could integrate into your life now. There's something that you want to make changes with, call in your ancestors to help you. They've been there, done that. They know an easier way for you, especially if you find that you keep hitting brick walls. The messages rely on us ancestors to help you out. They know the doors you need to go through. They can see it from a different place or different space. And they're saying, trust yourself. Even through confusion, you know where you're going. You're being led. That is the message. Message file number 2. Stillness. If your love has become quiet and still in your outer world, no much is happening in your inner world. Deep within, the old and the new are stirring, coming together to form a dreamy liquid creation that oozes into the very fabric of your being. This quiet is the feeling you have when a dream or desire is on its way. When this occurs, stay in the stillness. Don't look for physical evidence and don't wonder what you have to do to bring it into being or how it will happen. When you feel the stillness, take a breath and go within. Exhale and relax. You are hearing the whispers of your heart. Listen and hear your wisdom. So that's message number 2. Pile number 3. Sorry, I just get the rest of the cards. Pile number 3. Medicine drum. So if you picked pile number 3, sacred healing. Wow, it is really time for you to go deep into ancestors and working with your ancestors around bloodlines, genetics, preventing any future outcomes. They really are they're saying to you, it's time, they're ringing the drum. It's time for you to go deep, cell deep. And they're saying, call in your ancestors to help you with the sacred healing. You can't do it alone. You need your ancestors. It's time to seek consult. So consult with people. Consult with relatives if you need to about patterns. Work with herbs. Work with maybe counselors if that's what you need. Like, seek people to start doing the real deep-seated healing. Like, it's getting to the root cause. That's the message. They want you to get to the root cause of why certain things keep playing out in your life. And it's very sacred. And what you will find is if you go within, you're going to come out so much stronger. And I did that through a lot of lessons when having my child. I went through a lot of deep healing, sacred healing, and I came out the other side so much stronger than you could ever imagine. I went through a major dark night of the soul, a lot of transformation. It's almost saying to you, it is time for you to go within, shed the old layers. It is time for you to stand strong and to let go of which no longer serves you. Programs, patterns, habits, all of that. It's time. Call in your ancestors. Pile number 3. Right, message number 3. Right, you are loved. Create a new way to be in your life. Return to love. You have the support and love of the universe as you step through the vows of perceived responsibilities into freedom. No one has been placed upon this earth to make you happy, just as it is not your responsibility to make anyone else happy. Your job is to feel the best you can in every moment, freeing yourself and everyone else in the idea that we have to please others to be loved. You are so loved by the whole universe. Accept this love and feel all of the relationships deepen, becoming more authentic and unconditional. You are love and you are loved. Pile number 3. So pile number 4. What is the message from your ancestors? It's getting really hot in here. challenge. So message number 4, lightning. So there is a current challenge you are going through that is actually connected to your family bloodline. So looking at it very deep, looking at possibly getting some help around seeking out spiritual help. So a spiritual mentor, seeking angelic help, asking your guides and angels to help you look at, is this challenge a lot deeper than superficial level? Like, why does this keep repeating? Is this a family lesson that I could maybe move through and stop in its tracks? It's almost like time to take your power back, time for you to stand your ground, time to make a change. And the lightning strike, and it's choosing you, and you are choosing it, and you chose it for a reason, this challenge. And your ancestors are saying, you are not alone, you can do this, that you have strength, that you have the power, you have the will, and that you're not alone, and that after the storm there's always a rainbow. So every challenge you go through, know that you are being looked after by your ancestors. Know that you're not alone. Know that you can tap into the power of your ancestors to overcome this lesson, because maybe before how you've been trying to do it's not working. It's because you're not asking for the right help, and the right help is your ancestors. Big message there. Message for you, pole number 4. Dive in. Let us not be concerned with where we have come from or where we may be going. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and feel into the internal moment happening now, and now, and now. Allow all to be as it is. Sink deeper into your falling into your grace. Dive in and allow riches of you, infinite unconditional love to be revealed. Let go, let it be. Allow your treasure, your riches to shine, shedding light into every part of you. Balanced energy that will reveal the very truth of you. Free yourself of all that holds you back. Dive in. It's a strong message to dive in and start the work, start the healing. It is time. And to know that you've got this, they've got your back. So those were the messages. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a long video. There's a lot of information. But what they're essentially saying is, work with your ancestors. They love you. It is time. And they wanted me to hold these roses to say that they're giving you each a flower of gratitude. They also say it's really important to acknowledge your ancestors, to remember them. So a lot of cultures do a lot of remembering, and it's such a powerful tool because it's connecting you to your bloodline. It's connecting to you to your past, acknowledging, respecting. And what they're saying is, it's even as simple as giving them a flower, saying their name, thinking of them, because they think of you all the time. And it's a reciprocation, it's unconditional love. So the more that you send to them, the more they send to you. So they just wanted me to hold these flowers and send out to you, to your heart, unconditional love. We love you. Thank you. They are thanking you for watching this video because it means that you're listening to them. You're actually wanting to do the work with them, and they're so excited. So they're saying, big thumbs up to you, because not everybody chooses to look at their ancestral stuff, and they are very proud of you, and they want you to know that you have the courage to do this because you have the strength of all of us flowing through your veins. If you ever need your ancestors, go to your tree, sit under a tree, connect with your lineage. They have all the information you need, the answers to your questions, because all your ancestors, when they're on the other side, they can see how they could have done it better in their next lifetime. They can see what you can do. They also can help you unlock light codes to help you with your abilities, family abilities. They can help you to unlock those as well, so that it can really, really work for you as well. So if you're wanting help with opening up your gifts, your ancestors carry all those keys as well. So call in your guardian ancestor. I hope you enjoyed this video. Love and light to you all. I hope this made sense to you all, and your ancestors are so excited. So lots of love to you all. Bye for now.